I have been in the IT business for, about 15 years now or so, and actually probably longer than that, but there's something that's been going on and I want to talk about tonight. And that is, believe it or not, there's still small businesses out there that don't have their own website, or they're thinking about it and so forth. If you've ever tried to do a search for, maybe you got a name what you think would be great for a website, and you run a search and you see that it's taken, and then you're kind of frustrated, and then you try it again and you try another comment, and then when you go to these domains and you find they're basically empty or they just redirect you somewhere else, that's because a big business out there is actually purchasing all kinds of internet domains. And an interesting article that I picked up from Fox Business talks about, the article name is Imminent Domaining, and it's written by a Laura Tiffany. And I think it was she's from entrepreneur.com. But she tells a story of a Howard Hoffman and how Howard already owns 100 different internet domains, and which Howard feels is like a lot. And then he says, the article goes on to say that Howard had emailed and spoke with people that owned over 1,000 domains. Well, the idea is that you can get into the business of purchasing internet domains for very, very little money. I think it's like $10 or so to register an internet domain. And then you don't even have to host the domain, you can just park the domain. And so people are speculating on different domains. Now the article goes on to say that like most people in the business, this is Howard speaking, like most people in the business, my wife thought I was crazy wasting time and money on domains, says Hugh Hoffman, who now lives in Palo Alto, California. Says, however, now she understands how good it's been that I stuck with domains, because he's making money off of them. GoDaddy has announced recently they sold their 30 millionth domain. 30 million they've sold. And particularly in the .com. There's multiple domains that end with or have different endings. .com is certainly the most popular. The second would be .net, and then there's .org. .org tends to be for non-for-profits, government, educational, that sort of thing. Non-commercial is .org. .net is kind of the alternate to .com, not as popular. I've Googled and I've researched a lot of domains and found them as .coms, but not as .net. Then there's some new ones. .tv, for example, we live stream here through Ustream.tv. There's some different ones, but for the most part, the .com seems to be bringing in the biggest dollars. I'll give an example. A fellow sold the domain name Fund, FUND.com, for $10 million. He bought the domain years ago, parked it, sold it at auction for $10 million. Let's see, iReport.com sold for $750,000. And then even 248.com, that's 248.com, sold for $175,000. So the feeling there's a gold is, this is kind of a modern day gold rush going on out here. But that really hurts the little guy who's trying to buy a domain for his business, and only to find that domain name has been snapped up and just parked somewhere waiting for an auction. And that's happened to me. I wanted to buy the FrugalTech.com, and I can, but if I want to pay $2,000 for it, and I'm just not going to do that. So They're not going to make money off me doing that. The story goes on to say that they've seen a lot of people become millionaires because of dealing in domains. So what happened is a lot of good domains are just sitting out there being on speculation whether they'll be sold or not at auction. So my point is that if you don't have a domain, or if there is a domain name that you would like to have, buy it as quickly as you can. It only costs a few bucks, and it's really cheap insurance so that it will be available when you're ready to host your own website. You have that going for you.